What's your message to society? How should people change? What do you expect society to do to enable people like you and many others like you to come there and succeed?
If I would say what have I achieved more in my life is my foundation work.
Yeah.
Policing to honi thi and it was paid for. What's a big deal? Government paid me. I did my duty. It's no big deal. I think what I've done, unpaid. Unpaid, where I've paid by my time, my energy, my love, my compassion, and myself, and even my family time, I've given to my two foundations.
That success is not achievement. Ethical, value-based achievement is success, because that will make you emotionally strong, vibrationally high, and then achievement.
A very warm welcome to another edition of our Think Right podcast. And today we have with us a person, when you think of Bharat and you think of a female cop, there's no other name.
You think her. Most moral and ethical her.
Yes, of course, we have
Sister.
Kiran Bedi with us, and of course, the ever-radiant sister Shivani. I mean, it's going to be a very joyful to have both of you in a conversation, really talking about how we can shape and change and actually play a small role in the next generation that is going to, build Bharat, build our country, build themselves before they do all of that. So looking forward to a wonderful conversation, and thank you so much, Kiran, for being here. You've been a governor, you are a Magsaysay Award winner, and so many accomplishments. But one thing, in my mind that stands out when I think of you is you've always stood for what you believed in. You have never feared from speaking your mind out, for being, confident, idealistic, courageous. And I can go on with adjectives to describe that. How has that really, helped you? Have you paid a price for being, such a person? Maybe we start with that and go through a little bit on your journey, before we get into this conversation.
First of all, I want to thank you for making me sit close to my sister I admire most. I listen to her, learn so much from her. So she's a sister in white, and I'm a sister in uniform. So you have two uniforms, the white and the khaki. So I want to thank you for bringing me so close to her and sit close to her too. Because she is our universal teacher today, national teacher and character builder. That's what she's doing. Now, coming back to your question, look, it's the easiest to do. If you think your belief is ethical, it's nathic, then go ahead. You are at peace with yourself. There's no conflict. In my life, I've had no conflict. Once I believed this was ethical, this is right, this is for larger good, not my good. I don't look at my good first. In my service, I look for larger good first. And if it's in larger good, and that's my duty to do, and that's my belief, I'm easiest with it. I just follow it and go to sleep.
Sleep peacefully.
Absolutely, I sleep peacefully because I've lived my belief in action and in karma. And I'm not waiting when the results will come, what medal will begin, what promotion will come, nothing. So I'm telling you, it's easiest to live by ethical beliefs and then continue to do what else you want to do. So I've lived a life at peace with myself. I'm not in conflict.
And when did you realize that this is how you're going to, because your experience, your entire journey of life, right? At which point did it become stronger? Has it grown? Take us a little bit through your life's journey.
It's grown. It's not suddenly happened. The policing would not have happened just like that. It was love for justice. It's love to do good. And love to be in a position to do, because I realized that if you're not in a power to do, then nobody's going to listen to you. Social worker is very powerful, but it's very persuasive. Where in my uniform, it's persuasive with power.
Yeah.
I can persuade you, but if you don't listen to me, which is good for you, then I can get it done. That's what I wanted to do, persuasive power. So I think for me, policing was very persuasive power, and it grew with me from the age of teenager. From my sports, playing very fair game. Being a tennis player, fair game. Right है तो right है, wrong है तो wrong है. Wrong को right कर रहे हो तो मैं तुमको बता दूंगी कि तुमने गलत किया. मैं tolerate करूँ या नहीं करूँ मेरी मर्जी. But I will tell you, whether I win my match or I don't, it doesn't matter. But I have to play it fairly. So I think I played a very fair sports career. It remained as a fair. I didn't learn to cheat. I also shook hands after losing or winning. I only learned how I can win next time, and how do I
Better my game.
cry sometimes because I would make my family suffer too, because daddy was the main daddy. I'm a very family supported person. I'm a product of my home, family, mother, father, sisters, and a very sports family. So when sports enters you, what happens? You believe in what is right. You can't cheat in an open game. And you also prepare. You prepare. I can't just win because I'm so-and-so. I have to prepare and earn my victory. And then whatever comes, and then celebrate or not celebrate, depends on. So I think it's an upbringing. It's a growth. And I think the foundation credit goes to the home, the family, the sisters, even my husband's family. They played a wonderful role in strengthening these beliefs. So I would say it's a blessing.
Yeah.
It's come as a blessing. You get this kind of a home by past good karma. And I realized it, that I was gifted because I had very good home.
No, I think, Sister Shivani, you also always talk about the importance of, the right upbringing, and that actually, enabling people to lead a life, like the one that Kiran is just talking about. And here's a great example sitting right in front of us, and she's studying. So how does that home matter in the life or the accomplishment of any individual today?
Dr. Kiranji is an example of two things: a child who was empowered right and a parent who has empowered right. So she's played both the roles already. One, she was born in a home. One is a home which she has created. Because once I was on a podcast with her and her daughter, beautiful sanskars. You could see how, like when parents say, this is what I'm handing over to my children, is more in terms of business and factory and possessions. It is sanskars which you can just hand over. So you get it, you live it, and then you hand over with it. And so on that podcast, we were just talking, and her daughter was mentioning that, we would never know. She said, suddenly we were all comfortable and we would get a message, we have to shift. So we are shifted out from here.
Career.
She said, but we've just grown up with it very comfortably. So which means no complaining, accepting, only because they also stand on the same belief system of standing for the right. Not here for the self, but here. This is empowerment. And that's why if you look at pictures of deities, of prophets, they're always shown like this, with hands of a giver. It is when your hands are of a giver, which means your thought process is, I want to give. That is power. When it becomes like this. So what a beautiful line it was. It was not about what I am getting. It is about what I am giving. So it's very easy to be ethical. It's very easy to be standing. You see how she's making it sound so natural, because it is so natural. We make it sound so difficult, and it's so actually you don't know another way to be. You don't know another way to be, because that's like you're just normal. You don't even think that you're doing something, which is different. This is the only way to be. But you need only one sanskar for that. Fear of losing anything should not be there in you. If you don't have the fear of losing anything, you can always stand on the right, even if you're the only one, even if the entire world is against you, even if your family is, if everyone is on one side. If you don't have the fear of losing anything, being ethical on the right is very easy.
But it comes with sacrifices, right? I mean, I'm sure in this journey, you have had these choices that have, made you feel sometimes that maybe, yes, I could have also done this, because today's generation, particularly of leaders, is always, you're making choices, right? So how did you make those? I know your fundamentals were clear, but do you sometimes think you made sacrifices through this journey?
At work, let's look at...
At work or at
No,
home?
let me separate the two.
Sure.
Because there's something personal and something professional. At work, I was fearless. I was not afraid of losing anything. I was not afraid of losing a particular position or a particular posting or a particular privilege, because I always thought that was external. I had no right over it. It has come to me by a blessing, and I'll use it as a blessing. It can come and it can go. That's why many postings came to me which were not acceptable for others. I accepted them as God's blessing. Prison posting came as a God's blessing. I was kept without work for 9 months after I returned from a hard area posting in Mizoram. Nobody cared for me, and I never went to anybody to say I'm waiting for a posting. I'm just waiting. It was paid leave. I used my paid leave to go to a temple and go for a walk, and I started write my biography. Here was a sacrifice or challenge. I loved it. मुझे तो छुट्टी मिलती ही नहीं थी, ना मैं लेती थी. मुझे तुमने ज़बरदस्ती बैठा दिया घर, तो मैं तो enjoy करूँगी. So we all loved it. मैं रोज़ बिरला मंदिर जाती थी, walk करके टाल कटोरा walk करना, प्रवचन सुनना, पढ़ना. I loved it. Suddenly what happened? वो accountant general woke up saying, how can you pay anybody for so long without work? Poster. Prison posting was khali because nobody was occupying that position. There was no safarish for or against it. So whoever was posted was managed to go out. Khali posting thi, I suddenly got an order, posted as IG prison with immediate effect. एक दिन भी नहीं दिया कि जाना है. Everybody was saying कि वहाँ क्या करेगी, वहाँ कोई काम नहीं है. दो फाइलें हैं. मेरे एक ऑफिसर ने कहा, किरण मैं वहाँ काम किया हुआ है, सिर्फ 2 फाइलें होती है, मैं घर से ही निकाल देता था, तो तू क्या वहाँ जाएगी, तुझे तो काम चाहिए. मैंने कुछ नहीं उसको बोला. I went, I knew वहाँ 10,000 लोग दुखी लोग हैं, 10,000 दुखी लोग. अब मैं उनको सुखी कैसे करूँगी, वो मेरा चुनौती है. So I loved it. It came by design, by divine grace, and I was thrown out of the prison assignment after it became so good.
I know.
I was just backed off. Just as मैंने कहा, immediate take charge, I was told to leave immediately, so that I cannot even look back and go into the prison to say bye-bye to the prisoners. They posted somebody outside, see that she leaves, because they were afraid what will happen inside the prison. And sure enough, things happened. But I didn't look back. It came by divine grace. It went by divine grace. So I have never looked at these sacrifices.
But when it comes to the personal side, yeah.
I'm
How do you
afraid to
look
lose my dear one.
Yeah.
I am very afraid. I am afraid. Okay, and I was afraid. The biggest setback to me was when I lost my mother, who was I was attached. Losing your parents and your clear ones, I think, is an irreparable loss. It takes time to heal. It's not healed still, but I work on healing it on a regular basis. But personal loss is one aspect. Professional, I'm not bothered. जो आना है आएगा, करूँगी क्योंकि मेरी मर्जी, करूँगी वही belief से जो नेक है. So क्या किस बात का डर?
So how one is able to, keep the professional like an external, right? Because one is able to, when it comes to people who matter to you, people who have given birth to you, people who you're giving birth to, because obviously the connection is so much deeper and stronger and probably more relevant, there all the time with you. This is something you must be, meeting so many people who are struggling to deal with those. What do you advise them? What do you tell people when they go through such challenges?
Actually, for us, when we are studying daily spirituality, so death is like a talked about part of life. We don't talk about death. We don't. It's as if we know it's going to happen. We know it's certain. Mine and everybody are. We don't talk about it. If you think about it, talk about it, you'll prepare yourself for it. But if you live your life believing they'll never go, and we also have a deep belief system that I will not be able to live without them. This is a line we say so often to each other. Yeah. So nowadays in programs, we've been doing this interesting thing that if 2 members of a family are sitting next, on 2 chairs, I say, look at each other and say, I'll be perfectly fine when you leave. They were like, no, how can we say this? I said, but don't you want that to happen? Don't you want that to happen? Say, I'll be fine when you leave, and I know you will be fine when I leave. Affirmation. Instead of saying, I won't be able to live without you and you won't be able to live without me. It's something we think, feel, believe, say, and then obviously it becomes tough on that day. So it's all...
But here. Both need to... I think this is a...
No, one person, anyone who's doing it. Just the other day we had at our center, she's about 70 years old. That lady went through cancer, she was going through her chemo, and during that time her daughter got cancer. So then she went for her chemo, and then the daughter had a liver transplant done. But it didn't work, the liver transplant. So she could see that she's not going to be able to come out of it. But she knew that her journey is to take care of the soul. So like in profession, we say, I don't want anything, I'm here to give. So spiritually, we learn in the relationship also, I don't want you for me, I want to see what is good for you. So what is good for you? So then she told her entire family, come, let's sit and ask her to leave because she's in pain. And everybody said, like, ये वहाँ जाती है ना, देखो बेकार बातें कर रही है कि मेरी बेटी को जाना चाहिए. But this is what we study every day. Don't hold on to the soul there with your attachment.
Right.
Because till you're attached, the soul will remain in that body and they will not leave. And they are also attached to us, so they also don't feel like leaving. So she just asked everybody to leave the room. She held her hand, meditated with her, spoke to her, don't worry about your son, we're all here. Don't worry about anybody, I'm there to take care. Your costume is not working for you anymore, your new costume is ready. आप जाओ अभी यहाँ से. You go. 15 minutes. Soul left the body. So it is again just another practice. ये वो just practice हो गई है अभी. And anybody can do this and they get results. I was in the ICU a couple of months back and one lady got me. She said, please meet my father, bless my father. I said, क्या हुआ? She said, doctor said कि नहीं ठीक होंगे. The doctor was also there. He was also our doctor. So I said, what do you say? He said, kuch nahi hai, they are not taking him home. We are not doing anything. And then I saw the body, it was like just still, as if the soul had already left. But the soul was there. So I said, what blessing do you want to give? She said, he should be at peace. You know how much you have to make people think? I said, so what do you think is going to give him peace? So she looked at me like that. Don't say like that. I said, I am not going to say, you're going to say that now. She said, I cannot say that. I said, then you're saying you don't want him to be at peace. You know, so you have to open that thinking box over there and say, and then she held her hand and she said, आप बोलते जाओ क्या बोलना है मैं बोलूँगी. I said, you will repeat everything no? That I'll say. I said, yeah. So I said, just say कि आप हमारी चिंता मत करो. No, you have to tell the soul, don't worry about us. That's the only thing which is like literally holding them back. She was crying and saying it. Don't worry about us. I will take care of mummy. You've taught us everything. Thank you. She said all that. And then she went and told the doctor, okay, we'll take him home today. I'll get mummy. She'll meet him. Within 2 hours, the soul left even before going home. It is that easy.
Yeah.
It makes it easy for them. You know, so now this we understand even after the soul leaves the costume, कि जो आत्मा आगे चली गई है, they'll enter the womb of a mother and now a new birth will start. So from here we should not send pain. Our pain is absorbed by the soul in the womb of the mother and that makes that journey very difficult for them. So immediately when someone leaves, we immediately start the meditation, immediately start the blessings, okay, thank you so much, gratitude for, instead of saying, aap kaise chale gaye, hum aapke bina kaise, it's just that vocabulary shift, okay, thank you so much, everything that you've taught us, we're doing, and we are sending you lots of love and blessings for a very beautiful journey, for a very beautiful family. If this starts on day one, they get healed, because their vibrations heal that soul, their vibrations comes to the family and both mutually are healing each other just with the thought. The vacuum will always be there. The person is no more with us. But that remembrance shifts from pain to power, pain to love and gratitude. Instead of, and some people even say nowadays, Vapis aa jao. You have to come back to me. I mean, what are we saying? The soul has already left and they will try to connect to them in those different ways. Never do that. It makes the journey of the soul very, very difficult. We call Panditji and ask them to, do Havan and Puja for the peace of the soul. But the peace of that soul is in the family being at peace. If the family, so this is something that needs to be talked about, accept it, it's going to happen. And like you prepare your will and you prepare your life insurance policy, prepare yourself and prepare them. Prepare them to die. And prepare yourself for your death and for everybody else's death.
I think the way it happens is, when it comes, that's the time when,
Rajan,
people
we see
know
it
that they have to prepare.
Because we know so many people at the center, everyone who's studying it daily, it's a very different experience.
Yeah.
We've seen parents losing young children. We've seen parents losing school children. And immediately they will say, nahi, abhi mujhe uske liye meditation karna hai. Immediately, even while the body is still there. And they will actually go through that whole thing with stillness, not thinking about my loss, thinking about what I have to give you for
So
your
preparing,
journey.
like you were saying,
Yeah.
everything you
Preparing.
prepare for yourself
Yeah.
for in sport, same thing happens in profession and maybe in the personal
Personal,
side
personal
also.
losses.
Yeah.
It is how do we prepare ourselves, for not necessarily negative, but actually being able to face with the same emotion all situations, right? Whether they are joyful or that. And I think that's the journey. But Kiran, I want to move back a little bit to your professional side, because you really have been an inspiration for so many, and especially the younger generation today, right? As they look at their careers, as they look at the things that are going to make them feel meaningful, after their careers are over. What's your advice? Like just you talking about the TR jail, right? You give second life to hardened criminals. You got an award. You did something which was probably humanitarian. Where did that come to you from? And how do people today in careers, keep that humanitarian piece and that, thing alive as they go about their different careers?
You see, when I joined the Indian Police Service, there was a purpose. And there was a higher purpose. Purpose was not wear a uniform, have all these privileges and have a lot of authority. Purpose was to serve. Purpose was to be of value. Purpose was to heal and help people. My purpose never changed. My purpose has remained constant till now. I have a purpose for the day, a higher purpose. Not a selfish living, but a giving living. To even be healthy, to give.
Yeah.
I prepare for good health that I may be able to give. God, don't make me dependent. Give me health, I can be of service to others. So purpose has not changed. So whatever posting came my way, the purpose, there was a purpose. Prison had a purpose. Policing had a purpose. The district policing had a purpose. Traffic policing had a purpose, right? So you see, if the patterns were changing, how to deal with that purpose, deliver the purpose. Delivery of the purpose in Tihar was, so I was always looking for the purpose. And I lived up to the purpose. And the purpose was never written by corporates the way the corporates give you will do these key areas. Nobody in government gives you this. You have to define your own strategies, own needs, own roadmaps. So I would define my own roadmap. I began with reform by walking the prison every day. Put on my tennis shoes, wear the same kind of dress, not wear a uniform to show my authority. I'm one of you, but I'm for you. And I start to say, Ocha, क्या हुआ आज खाना ठीक खाया नहीं मैडम ब्रेड उल्ली थी पानी नहीं आया गंदगी है that's good enough for me. I start to get the things cleaned up, get the food settled, vegetable checked, kitchen done. Things started to change. Why? Because I'm on the job. My purpose was to improve matters, change matters for the better and be of value to others. That's it. इसमें मुझे क्या मिलेगा यही तो मिल रहा है तुमको खुशी मिल रही है मेरा purpose हल हो रहा है. So I think what I've lived in my life is stuck to my purpose. What am I? Divine my own purpose. And if I got a purposeless assignment, I left it. Didn't spend a wasted a day. I got a posting. It was another posting and they said, Joint Commissioner so-and-so. Very good. The police commissioner, I went to him. Policy planning and implementation. I said, very good. After prison, when they found nothing else to fight for. So he gave it to me. I went to my commissioner. I said, sir, what policy and what implementation? Can I get some guidance? Do you know what he said? You got a stenographer? I said, yes, sir. You have an office? I said, yes, sir. You have a vehicle? I said, yes, sir. That's all. So I said to him, what is this vehicle and office for? That's it. So I said, thank you, sir. Here's my leave application. I wish to follow now for my scholarship I'd asked for. Let me go. And he was happy to let me go. The point is, when I did not find a purpose and they were just making me mark time and lose my time, for me, my time is more precious. I said, thank you. And I left for my study leave. I sat and wrote a book on the prison work. So this is how I've looked at. There is a purpose and I only pray for energy. Every day I only pray, God, give me energy. Don't leave me dependent on anybody. Let me go while being energetic and while being of value. That's all my prayer today. Energetic. So therefore, that's the way I find my purpose and I live my purpose. That's why there is no conflict.
So you're like a vehicle through whom something larger gets accomplished.
Absolutely.
And you said you look at that daily, right? Like, or so how did you wake up today and when you're coming here, what's playing on your mind today? I mean, you talked of energy and excitement and the youthfulness. I mean, you've just turned 75, and I think nobody on the show will say you look a day older than 50 or whatever. But I'm just trying to say that what was it that you woke up with today?
What's happening in Delhi till yesterday, getting drowned, has made me angry within. It's made me angry because I love the city. I've grown up in the city. I've seen the city grow and develop and be the best part of the world, one of the best. So proud of it. But I'm not proud of it what is happening now. I'm not. And what angered me was, what came to my mind, why is this happening? Who is to be blamed? I'm not looking for who to blame. Why is it happening? And I saw one common reason, corruption. It's all corruption happening. And in that, all of us are in it. In one way or the other, we've contributed. So this morning, when I got up, I tweeted this saying, it's rampant corruption which is the cause of what's happening. Which means, let's all reflect on ourselves. How are we contributing to this corruption, right? That was in my mind. That why is it? So I was not looking for who's corrupt. And over the years, it's gone for a free fall. This corruption has increased by the day. I've seen it increasing. Look, when I started the service, corruption was at a lower ebb. Today, it's skyrocketed. And it's gone into unaccounted. And it's gone for a free fall. So everybody's contributed to it in one form or the other. So it angered me and I tweeted it. Once I tweeted it, I was relaxed. I said it and I started people reflect. Now मैंने लिख दिया, तुमने पढ़ना पढ़ो, सोचना सोचो, नहीं सोचो. मैंने अपनी duty कर ली as a citizen. Again, I perform my duty as a citizen to raise a red flag. Dekh, this is what is added to the corruption, because no corruption would also only improve matters. It's corruption. See, when I talk about my prison, what was rampant earlier was corruption, eating away food money, ye bhi money, garbage money, because people were eating away the money. What did we do? We start to spend the money in the right way and things start to fall in place. That's all the problem. So I challenged my nation through tweet saying, corruption. Now you look at just what have you contributed?
How does the word corruption resonate with you? Because corruption is, of course, monetary, this, but, emotional, we say consuming content which, can corrupt you, So what are the triggers, that the word, corruption can be associated with?
Desires. So we learned from her that your profession is for giving. Whatever profession, which means the nature of your personality is to be a giver. So if you stay tuned on this frequency, the word corruption will not come into your system. But if you get into this frequency, what am I getting out of here for myself? Then there is no end to that. So that's why she's saying, पहले इतनी corruption थी, अभी इतनी हो गई, अभी और बढ़ेगी. Because the more soul power will deplete, I will be like, what is in it? Because I don't have the strength to give. So anyone who will go into life saying, I'm going today out to even a business, that's why we tell people, business is not give and take, business is give. Just go into your business with the intention of what am I giving to the world. What you're earning is automatically going to happen. She's also earning salary, no. So it was not that she was doing social service, they were not doing charity. You are getting your salary, you are getting your profit, you're getting it, but don't go into that work with that intention to get. Go with that intention to give. The word corruption, the word unethical. Today we're talking ethics in business. Today we're talking ethics in healthcare. Whoever thought we will wake up one day and say ethics in healthcare? People are coming to you with trust. They're surrendering your child to you. And we have to talk of ethics over there. So when I cheat someone, it's that person suffers is what the world believes. But we understand spiritually that person suffers only financially or monetarily. The one who's done the karma of the cheating, that person suffers for many births, not one birth, not one birth. Like corruption in this case where 3 children have lost their lives. What karmic account has got created? And now one person is not a part of this karmic account. Many people are. Law of the country will find people, but law of karma will catch up with everybody. So if I remember law of karma, unethical and corruption can never come into your system. It will never happen.
Yeah, the problem is many people in society don't actually feel that is corrupt. Of course, there are people who say this is a corrupt practice. Like I'll give you a simple example, right? As children, we go to a temple, we'll put little money in, we'll charav something, and then we ask for a favor, right? I must do well in my exams. So, in a way, we are making a transaction, which is a give and take. Okay, I'm doing something which is not around any framework, right? Because this is a generational kind of a thing which happens in society. So I'm specifically focusing on this one word.
No, but
because
give and take
to
also, in that case also, the city is paying us, we are taking care of the city. Or I'm doing my job, somebody is paying me. So clean transaction, no. But my intention should be of a giver, no. Then where is corruption? You're still getting paid, you're not doing charity. You're getting paid, so the give and take is automatically happening. But intention should be, I'm going there as a giver. What I'm getting is anyways a byproduct. It's like कर्म का ध्यान रखो, फल तो अपने आप आ रहा है, आप फल के लिए नहीं कर रहे हो. But your intention is like, so beautifully she said, just wake up every morning and say, what can I give to the world today? So that intention will not allow you to dilute your values and principles ever. It makes you fearless, but ethical is something not to be talked about only. It's something we don't need to talk about.
As a matter of fact, now with technology and all, we're talking of ethics in AI, in artificial intelligence, because their machine is going to direct man what to do. Just imagine, the society that...
But man is creating that machine.
And man is creating. So society is getting so complicated, and I think it's, compared to even the times that you were professionally to where it is, and the challenges that the workforce tomorrow will face, particularly when you're in public service, how do you see society, what should society be doing, right? You're doing what you're doing. What's your message to society? How should people change? What do you expect society to do to enable people like you and many others like you to come there and succeed?
Do unto others what you want for yourself. Do unto others. Do unto your children what your other children you want. Start from home. And parenting is a biggest responsibility today, if you ask me. Two responsibilities are very important, other than others. Parenting and teacher. These two. And the final responsibilities of the leader who's come with some trust. These three people are influencers. The leader at the top, who has asked for trust. And if he or she proves untrustworthy, I think it's the biggest karmic failure for his life. He does not know what is coming in the next. But he thinks he's having great fun, but he is sowing a lot of weeds for himself. I think there are two over one influencer. Mother, father, home, which is home, includes grandparents, right? And teacher. In the school, college comes much after. And then the teacher who's all the time speaking and communicating. And what is he communicating? What language is he communicating? What pattern of behavior is he communicating? He's influencing the whole. And the media is beaming it as it is. Media is not editing it. We must realize these are very strong influencers, the teacher and the parents. Parents, the primary teachers, and teachers is home, outside at school. And that teacher is the leader. He is a lawmaker, he's a provider, he's a trend setter, he's also the language giver, he's so many things. If he conducts himself and how he then strategizes and makes his team, I think this is, so what the Generation X wants? Do unto others what you want. So if you are in that leadership position, do what you want others to do. And parents, give to your children what you want your others to do. And give to your daughters and boys, girls and boys, exactly what you want others to do to your daughter-in-law or your son-in-law. I think this is the message. We are very far. We are now in the current generation, but we're going to suffer the past. Look, we're going to bear the consequences of our growth, which we are already suffering the consequences of a corrupt growth. We've actually nurtured a very corrupt growth. What is balancing is individuals like her, saints like her, who are all the time constantly going back and correcting. She's doing a colossal job of constantly changing the balance towards back to thing. I think that's the key. The message is that go back to these three and realize your responsibility. It's not a position. It's a place of responsibility. So parenting is an act of responsible behavior. Teaching is not a job. Parenting is not a biological act. These are responsible positions, and if you want your next generation, past is you can't correct, but whatever you can correct, people like her are correcting. But if you want the next one, start now, not tomorrow. Start now, immediately after seeing this program.
No, such a powerful point. And we all look at you because we definitely need more power, more like you, more, better and stronger ways for this force, like what you said, to not only balance but actually move society in the other direction, right?
See,
Do you see that happening?
Yeah, parenting and then corruption. Let's get these two words together. Because most of your parenting, you will be using money also to parent your children, right? So that money also needs to be highest vibrational money. So if I am not completely highest values, principles and ethics, then the money that I'm bringing into the home is coming with a lower energy. And that money is going to nurture your child with, because the house you buy is with money, the education, even their education is with that same money, the food they are going to eat every day is with that same money. That money better be of the highest vibrational energy, otherwise it's going to change the energy of the whole system. So even if I remember that much, that धन से मन आता है, जैसे जैसा अन्न वैसा मन होता है, जैसा धन वैसा भी मन होता है. So if we go back to when we were children, it would be how do you earn? Today's generation is just asking each other how much you earn. They are not focused on how you earn. And as a society, we have created the definition of success as an achiever. Doesn't matter how they achieved, so they are on top magazine covers. It's not about what they achieved. How they achieved what they achieved is very important. So that's where that message of values, principles, ethics has to go into the system, that success is not achievement. Ethical, value-based achievement is success, because that will make you emotionally strong, vibrationally high, and then achievement. So that's that missing thing. Then that has to come into parenting. So if a parent is only earning money because they think money will parent their children, but that money has this underlying corruption, could be of a different level. One is financial, one is just the behavior of, your behavior with people whom you work with. You're going to earn money out of it. So that money better come with their blessings. So धन घर आए, लेकिन धन से ज़्यादा दुआएं घर आए, तो parenting में वो बहुत मदद करेगा. But if you think everything can happen with the power of money, then that's what result we are seeing. So value-based money earning is something we need to
What is money
about.
meant to you?
This money, just my needs to meet, and rest is excess. And then you can plan your excess how you wish to put it. You can secure the future of your child or put it to a cause. Money means meet my essential needs. I can live. I can be self-reliant. For money means my self-reliance. I'm not asking
There's a
anybody.
Financial freedom, at
That
least.
gives you financial freedom, and that's my self-reliance. Moment I feel my essential needs are met, not luxuries of the kind, no wastage at all, but meets my essential needs, which keep my mind, body, soul intact and keeps me on track. The rest is all excess. You do not know what to do with it. So plan in such a way that you give, again, security to others and meet certain causes, which I do.
No, I think both of the things that you brought, because I think there's a correlation, right? Because at the end of the day, when we talk of the word corruption or something, it's more a desire that you want to accumulate more without even thinking, what are you going to do with that accumulated wealth? But I think this consciousness in society, is it changing? Is it happening, moving at the pace at which one
in which direction moving?
That's the question.
Which direction moving? Yeah. It's not, you can't generalize it. It's obviously person to person.
So let's talk India, because we are a large country. We are a country which has so much still to achieve, right? When you talk of where we are as a country today, the number of people, the transformation, as we say, if we want to become a developed or whatever, however we define that new India, the new Bharat, there's a lot to be done, right? So see, how does consciousness play a role in making that happen?
I just check it from the responses I see in a big gathering. So let's say if there are 1,000 people in an auditorium for a program, and if I'm talking about karma and money, and I say, आज भी तो लोग मिलते हैं ना जिनको हम जाएंगे और हम कहेंगे 1 किलो एप्पल दे दो, वो बोलेंगे नहीं नहीं हमारे से नहीं खरीदो, आई डोंट हैव द फ्रेश थिंग. एंड यू नो नाउ पीपल से नहीं नहीं आजकल नहीं लोग मिलते ऐसे, यू नो. सो दैट्स अ which means the numbers have reduced. Earlier it was very simple, nahi nahi saab mere se nahi kharido aap wahan. So what is that business person doing? He is saying, don't worry about me, I care for you. So I'm telling you, don't buy from me. So if we can still find those people, then we are on that energy where we are talking about values and principles and ethics and earning money. Okay, don't worry about me. I'm telling you, you go and buy it from sir. But generally when I see in big groups, they say, nahi, आजकल नहीं उतने लोग मिलते जितने पहले मिलते थे, which means it's changing, but then it needs to go back. And its main thing is to understand you're not cheating the other person. The other person you will only cheat for 200, 2,000 or 2 lakhs or 2 million. You are cheating yourself with your karma, because the karma, they only will lose money. But your karma, when it comes back to you, it won't be only money. That is the only important thing to remember, and then it's very easy.
Is that a purpose that you also feel is there important for you today? You're doing a lot of philanthropic, you're spending your time around a lot of development of that. Do you see that as a purpose for the next whatever decade as you spend your time? Where do you see yourself spending your time from here on?
My 2 very strong foundations grew with me for last 40 years. I started as a young officer. We officers came together, founded a foundation. Foundation for whom? Street children, education, healthcare, women empowerment. It's grown. Once you sow a seed, it's a banyan tree. I am bearing the fruits already. What are my fruits? The joy I see in their life. When I connect with those women, empowered women, now they're women in business, or children, teachers, employed, I see that happening. So I am already bearing the fruits of my labor. The key is start connecting yourself with larger causes close to your heart when you're small, as college boys and girls. Link yourself with some corporate social, some cause. It can be elders, it could be spiritual, link yourself. Choose your heart cause and follow that along with your work. Do you know what happens? Then work as a whole only doesn't become your survivor. You can forget about the work too and dip into this. It happened many times. I had no work sometimes, no posting, but I could go and play with the children. I could work with the water harvesting, so many rural women. There's so much. I think more, to my mind, if I would say what have I achieved more in my life, is my foundation work. Policing to honi thi, and it was paid for. What's a big deal? Government paid me, I did my duty. It's no big deal. I think what I've done, unpaid, where I've paid by my time, my energy, my love, my compassion, and myself, and even my family time, I've given to my 2 foundations. And I see thousands of them rehabilitated, whether it's prisoners, others, or women. So I would think one message to the youth is associate yourself with some cause which is close to your heart. Can be spiritual, can be social, it can be material cause, which is giving. So which makes you give, not just money. You have money, give. But if you have time, give. If you have energy, give. If you have a good thought, give. Give whatever you can extra. Giving as a university student or a young boy or a girl makes you self-reliant doubly, because it now is work also is one place, but giving and living becomes your real self.
Yeah, no, I think that's a very powerful message.
Seva bhav.
The seva bhav, but it's going along with, your growth of your professional career, and to do it early, because it gives you another very strong thing to rely on through your life journey,
but not only to rely on, your sanskar of giving will get created. So if your sanskar of giving gets created in your foundation, that sanskar of giving even will come into your professional life. So you create the sanskar there, bring it here, and you change the way you work even in your professional life.
We keep talking of individual social responsibility. You were trying to mention corporate social. Each individual, and there's a score, right? And you can do it in multiple ways. You just consume better products, you'll use more organic, or these are all simple things one can do to just feel or connect with something beyond your home and your profession. I know, we have covered a lot in this podcast, but we do have one more segment, Kiran. We call it the Mindful Minute, where we just ask you a few pointed questions and maybe, look at some of the answers more, specifically. So, people look at you in multiple ways, right? Do you think there are more people who are in awe of you or more people who are jealous of you? I know it's not a right term, but it's just, what do you feel when people interact with you?
3. I see awe, but not much. Awe, yeah, but it's a very respectful awe. Very small level jealousy, but that doesn't surface. It gets sometimes known, but doesn't care. Have reasons to be, let it be. That's their way of looking at it, but it doesn't bother me. But oh yes, the little ones will say, we want to be like you. How can we be? That's all. But largely it's very respectful love. I'm receiving a lot of respectful love. And I start wondering, when did I earn this? Have I earned it? And then I say, God, thank you. Please continue to make me eligible for this. Make me walk the same path with this respectful love. People just want to come and hug me, just as they do that for her. My God, I'm amazed. Respectful love. It's how did it get earned? I do not know. But this is, I think, my biggest earning of my life.
What brings that?
So important. Or you can get by what you do. You do something.
Of course.
Jealousy also you can get because of what you do. But that respectful love comes only because of who you are. So her karma of that values, principles, ethics, giving is getting that third one, which is respectful. That's so important.
Yeah.
So, and it's the most important one out of the 3, right? It's the most important one. Yeah, it's so beautiful.
What do you hear most from people when they see you?
They say you changed my life, and I have to pause and I have to say that you are the one who changed your life, because nobody else can change your life. You just learned, you picked it up and you changed your life. So that's...
She's so right. She changes everybody's lives every day.
No, but it's not
She changes
true.
the thoughts.
They change their life.
She changes their thoughts.
She helps them change their...
Yeah. She changes mine too.
all of us. Describe Kiran Bedi in one line.
How do I have it in one line?
Okay. 2 lines, 5 lines. You're writing, you've written your biography.
I think I was a very loving daughter. I loved my parents and I was a loving daughter. And I had loving parents. So one description could be a worthwhile citizen, a responsible citizen. Exercise sense of responsibility in all I do.
Sister Shivani in one line.
Surrendered instrument.
Surrender instrument.
Surrendered instrument.
Powerful thought for people to do. One spiritual practice you do every day.
I live a spiritual practice. I live in a very aware life. I'm conscious of what I'm doing, why I'm doing, where I'm doing, what I'm saying. That awareness habit has come very early. I don't say something I don't mean, and I'd rather be silent if I don't want to say something. So it's a very life of awareness, and even a negative thought which comes to my mind, I'm aware something's trying to enter. So I think it's a spiritual life in all I do, 24 hours. It's an awakened life. And the moment you start sleeping, it awakens again. I think that's a gift which has got nurtured over a period. And that's why it's earned this kind of spread around, because I'm not hurtful to anybody. I'm kind to everybody. If I cannot help anybody, I won't hurt. But if I get an opportunity to be kind, I will be.
Can I request her for one thing? Can you share what you had shared once about when in Pondicherry you were waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning and how, like the power of the 4 o'clock time?
How beautiful.
Very
she heard that. Recently we were together in a function and I said that. I have this habit, I say awakened, but I'm also a listening person. In Pondicherry, I was a stranger. I'd come from north to south with language and cultural change. But people were very kind, but the language barrier. But I had no colleagues who were former colleagues, so there were no friendships. So all hierarchy. Now, and all politicians who were now looking at who she appointed so and so from outside, North Indian, a woman, and who has no administrative this kind of experience, and an IPS officer. You see, all these are not, by the way, they were not positives, they were negatives. When I took over charge, I declared the purpose of my governorship. And I said, we will now have a prosperous Puducherry. I gave one statement, prosperous Puducherry. Prosperous means good for everybody. Now, how do I translate this into action, which means a lot of responsible activities and decisions? I used to get up in the morning, early hours, which she reminds me. Early hour of the morning, by 4:30, I would be up. I would sleep early, sleep well, and Pondicherry's got very clean air. Yeah. Actually, it wakens you up on your own very healthily, unlike anywhere else. There's no pollution in the air. So I would be up at 4:30 very naturally and sit and meditate for more than an hour. I'd just be quiet, and so many things are coming in my work as this is happening. Where do I, what next? I felt guided. I felt guided. I also ideated. Ideas came to my mind. Do this in the meeting, say this in the meeting. So it was guided tour in the morning, but silent, an hour and a half. And sure enough, you know how it got tested? When I used to hold my 9 a.m. meetings of my team members, I would say something or ask for something. They started wondering, where is this idea coming from? And every day, they expected me to say, Aaj naya kya? What will she guide? So with no experience in Pondicherry, with no colleagues, friends and brothers and relatives, I was ideating already. And this ideation was coming through my meditation in the morning, because nature, divinity was coming into me saying, Hum hai na aapke liye. I'm for you. Because I was saying, guide me. Please guide me, because it's a very huge responsibility, Lord. Please guide me, God. And God was guiding me, saying, Aaj aise karo. Ye socho. Idhar jao. Idhar bhi jao. And I used to do, I was a very field lieutenant governor. It was guidance. So it really worked. That is where I live with till now. So I think this is what's helped.
No, that's great, because you just prepare yourself to be able to receive, I think is also very, very critical, you know. And I think she just gave that example. So how does one prepare themselves to receive this guidance?
So that time band is also very important, because at that time your mind is silent, but the vibrations of the environment are also silent, because most this side minds are sleeping. So you're able to silence your mind, and then you're able to say, I don't know. That is very important. You have to say, I don't know. So then somebody is there to give you the answer. But till I keep saying, I know everything what I have to do, then you say, okay, then do everything that you want to. That is humility, and that is instrument, that I don't know what has to be done. I don't know what I have to say to this person. Then that answer will be different. Till I say, I know what I said, this question I have heard 100 times, I know what answer has to be given to this, then it will be my answer. But if I say, I don't know the answer, then that will be an answer by that divine grace. So that's a very beautiful thing, very beautiful.
Yeah. So wake up early and
wake up
no
early.
Resistance,
Yes.
and just
allow.
Let it flow to through.
Allow.
Great. And as we end, the last thing is, what is your one piece of advice to aspiring change makers?
Know the reason why you're born. Why you're born. No, search for the reason. And once you decide your purpose of the birth, the reason for your birth, track that, and then decide your roadmap every day, plan your journey every day. That means once your purpose, goal is visible, then you'd automatically take those same kind of tracks and journeys. Like for me, why am I born? I'm born to be a self-reliant woman, an empowered woman, and also a principled woman, but not be like the ordinary. I saw a lot of ordinary women, which I didn't want to be. Not their way. They're extraordinary in their own way, but ordinary in their own way, and extraordinary in their own way. But I didn't want to go there, which I considered ordinary. So I didn't like that. I had to be different. So I was playing, studying, trying to earn and make a living for myself. But again, in a manner, not at the cost of others, but by my own dint of energy, my own effort. So I think that was my purpose. My purpose was to remain purposeful in my life.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Can you make an affirmation or create an affirmation for somebody who is a change maker? What's that affirmation?
I am an instrument and the purpose of my life is to give. Simple. Then the highest will flow through you. Become an instrument and tune that purpose, that my purpose. But many people are not keeping giving as their purpose of life. So instrument, so you will receive, and purpose of life is to give, so receive. And so change maker is like this. So I am an instrument and my purpose of life is to give.
Beautiful. So we've had two people who have given so much today through
The
this
khaki and the
conversation together in so many aspects of a person's life, professional, personal, self-awareness, self-growth, spiritual. It's been such a wonderful conversation, and I know we could go on, but thank you so much, Kiran, for being with us. Thank you, Sister Shivani, and really, hope the audiences really benefit from this wonderful conversation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
You too can start or enhance your mindfulness journey using the Think Right app on iOS and Android store. It's got a huge number of daily affirmations, daily journeys, daily meditations that will enable us to hold your hand as you move in this transformative journey of life.